white guy in a Marianas Trench t-shirt about to review a Migos album. I swear I'm doing this intentionally just so I get the comments saying, "Oh, he's unqualified, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Go ahead, prove me right." What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the second studio album by rap group Migos. The new one is called Culture. It's kind of a big album that they've been teasing for a little bit. Bad and Bougie, a huge single for them. I had only heard a select handful of songs preceding this album's release, just from the group in general. I had heard my buddy Spectrum Pulse talk about them a few times and the whole Migos flow, and now listening to some of their stuff, some of the verses that I've heard from the likes of Quavo on Post Malone's album, I thought they were decent, had some okay and interesting flows, especially for the trap and hip-hop scene in this day and age, but as a whole, and especially listening through this Culture album, I'm finding myself at a loss for really anything to say. Not super negative, but not super positive either. It just seems like dime a dozen to me, and I'm having a hard time figuring out why they stand out in the scene. Now, recently, last fall, they signed to Kanye West's Good Music label imprint and started teasing an album release, and obviously Kanye has been hyping them up on social media as well. I remember seeing a few posts on Twitter talking about Culture, seeing the album cover on there, and now finally we've got the record. And what do we have on our hands? Well, honestly, we've got about an hour's worth of trap-flavored hip-hop with some standout moments, but plenty of material that is just run-of-the-mill. It's very ordinary. This album does not really throw me for very many surprises whatsoever. It's not awful, but it's cruise control, and the majority of the stuff could have been cut, honestly, and that's the problem that I have with so many modern hip-hop records. It seems like they stuff in so many tracks, and I know this one only has 13, some of them, like Drake, do the likes of 20, but here, I feel like they've still could have condensed this a little bit more, honestly, made it a little bit more of a compact project. If you took out about 5 songs from this, made it a little bit more of an EP, or a mixtape, I could see myself having more fun with it, but overall, I just am not getting that much enjoyment. John, why are you not liking this? Why don't you love it? Why don't you embrace the fire? Because it just, to me, I'm listening to this and I'm reading along with the lyrical content on Genius, and what exactly do they do that Young Thug or all of these other rappers are not doing in the modern scene? I see so many people just throwing on the same lyrics. They're talking about, their guns or their drugs or making drugs or selling them or making profit or making banks or getting rid of the fuckboys, as the likes of DJ Khaled, of all people, comes in and says on the opening track, Culture, the self-titled opener that keeps saying Culture album coming soon. I'm not sure if this was recorded a long time ago or if they're just teasing the fact that the rest of the album is about to get played. Obviously, if you're streaming the album, it seems like it goes without saying, but that's obviously a nitpick. Now, DJ Khaled comes in on that opening moment there, and I really think that does kind of set the tone. Obviously, the album's not taking itself too seriously, and that's not what it's meant for, but even with music that I like to have fun to, this just doesn't fit the bill whatsoever. I don't find myself wanting to jam out to this. The beats are often kind of stale. There's a few, like the Metro Boomin produced Bad and Bougie. I like the beat on that one, although the lyrical content, I don't know. It's just flying right over my head. I don't know if I don't get it, but for me, living in this culture where hip-hop is dominating, this is not what I want to hear more of. I'd love to hear more of the likes of more of some of the underground stuff like Joey Badass or Run the Jewels. And this is more in the lane of your mainstream stuff that you're seeing, like Young Thug's Slime Season or Jeffrey, and some of the other big projects that kept dropping throughout the year last year. Fetty Wap, Future, all of these auto-tuned rappers that just don't really push the bill whatsoever. Now, in terms of some of the songs that I did like on this project, there were a few. I thought T-Shirt had a really banging beat to it, really helped get me into the song a little bit more, even if I don't really vibe with the lyrics all that much. Obviously, it's not going to be something that I find myself relating to, and I see people who try to tell me that they do relate to the music and they do relate to the lyrics, and I'm just like, you're like a 25-year-old white guy. Exactly how are you relating to what they're talking about here? You're a 25-year-old white guy that lives in his mom's basement, I should say. There's a few moments that definitely kind of stray from that path, especially like the closing moment, what I thought was a very, very nice touch. Out Your Way, which is one where they seem to kind of be reflecting on women in their life and giving them, I guess, the opportunity, even if it does seem a bit demeaning. I mean, all throughout the record, I really don't like the way that just rap music in general still seems so behind whenever it comes to treating women fairly, and obviously I'm probably going to get comments about that and saying that I'm a pussy and that I just need to go with it, and that's what rap music's about. I'm never going to get on board with that, but I guess I kind of like at the end that they try to give their women the benefit of the doubt, even though it seems like they put them through some tests or something like that in order to get to the point where they will treat them right. So it still doesn't quite seem fair, but at the same time, I guess it's a step forward in their scene. So I definitely like that one. I like the 2 Chainz feature on the track Deadz, which comes near the end of this thing. It was a nice little bright spot in there. I thought his flow was nice. Talking about going for a jog at night and the way that he kind of correlated some of the lyrical content there, I thought it was actually quite smart. And we see a few bright spots like that, not only from 2 Chainz, obviously, I can't believe I'm saying that, but from the likes of the Migos members as well. Before I get to some other ones that I really do not like, I do have to mention Call Casting. I thought the beat on that one was fire. It really just grabs you, a booming bass line on it, just really catchy. The keys on that one, the way that they twinkle in, the kind of synthy production, very modern, very trap leaning, obviously, as the majority of culture is, but this is one that made a huge impact on me. Easily my favorite song on the project. I thought the flows were great, the timing, the entrances, everything about this song works for me, and while I'm not gonna put it down as probably a favorite of the year for Migos, this is what I would like to see more of. Pushing that aside though, there is a lot of shit on here that I just detest, honestly, because it's the same old regurgitated, recycled bullshit that spews from all of these rappers' mouth over and over again. The riches, the bitches, the snitches, the guns, and it's just like, it all just seems like a made-up land at some points. I'm sure that a lot of them have been through this at some point in their life, but rapping about it over and over again, to me, that's like looking to Coldplay's album, that I know this is a weird comparison, Coldplay's album Ghost Stories that came out a few years ago, and them pushing that breakup album over and over, and who would want to see the same thing over and over again? Okay, the production's a little bit different. Oh, they got in some different trap beats. Oh, they got some bigger horns and some more abrasiveness to the production, but it's the same lyrical content over and over again. And I look at tracks like Big on Big or right near the end whenever I really start to lose touch with this album, with moments like All Ass, which is way too repetitive for me, and the cringeworthy Kelly Price, which has Travis Scott on it. There's a line on there where he talks about treating his Lambo like a Fisher Price. At that point, I'm done. I can't even pay attention because I'm listening through it up to that point. I'm just like, oh, there's some really bad lines here. But ones like that just slap you in the face and just strip away any dignity. I don't care if it's for fun. I don't care if it's not taking itself too seriously. I can't handle this. You guys keep requesting these reviews from me, and I'm probably going to cut myself off. I'm not going to do a ton of reviews, at least in this scene. That's not going to say that I'm not going to review rap albums. It's just going to be that I want to be more selective with it. I kind of did this review off the cuff just because listening through this album like 4 or 5 times, I just found myself thinking, do I really want to be doing this? No, this isn't how I want to spend my time. I want to check out the new Def Havana album, or I want to check out the new Train album. I'm just kidding. I couldn't say the second one with a straight face. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this record in the comment section down below. It was all just my opinion, but me personally, I'm not going to come back to this album. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, maybe a light 2.5. Be sure to leave a like on the video today to outweigh all the dislikes that are going to come in from the fanboys, and subscribe to the channel because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If you'd like to find me on social media, it's all linked in the description down below. You can click right here for another rap review or for another review that I think you might enjoy that I did recently. I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.